Now we are taking the estimation of software projects. Estimation is very important as far as this project monitoring, control, etc. Is concerned, because this is a project management activity. Estimation. If you have estimated your project well, the effort, the time, man's or resources, then your project, you can hope that it will be successful. Because what we have learned in software classes, that most of the projects failed because the they were not able to estimate the software project, or faulty estimation was there. So in software project planning, the overall goal of this project planning is what? The goal is to establish a pragmatic strategy for controlling, tracking, and monitoring a complex technical project. But why would we do that? We want to get things done on time, with quality, and within budget. On time, with quality. So project planning has certain tasks. We have already discussed this. Let us go through them again. First, we need to establish the project scope. We will need to determine the feasibility and the analysis of risk, that is the risk analysis. And then we define the required resources. That means what resources can be there. We need to determine human resources, reusable software resources, environmental and resources. Then we have to estimate the cost and the effort. That means first we have to decompose the problem. Then we need to develop two or more estimates using the size, the function points, or process tasks, or the use cases. And then all these estimates needs to be reconciled. Then we can develop a project schedule. So scheduling, that means we need to establish a meaningful task set, define a task network, and then use scheduling tools to develop a timeline chart. And define scheduling tracking mechanism, how you are going to track this schedule. So the estimation of the project, the good estimating approaches and solid historical data offer the best hope that reality will win out over impossible demands. So estimation of resources, the cost and schedule of a software engineering effort requires many things. Because estimation of these three, I'm not talking about very small project, I'm talking about medium and large projects. So if you could estimate resources, cost and schedule, you need to have experience, the access to good historical information metrics, and the courage to commit to the quantitative predictions when qualitative information is all that you have. Then the estimation carries inherent risk, and this risk will lead to uncertainty. So the project complexity, project size, and the degree of structural uncertainty all are going to affect the reliability of the estimates. So what is the scope? First we need to define the scope. Scope or software scope describes the functions and features that are to be delivered to end users, first of all. Then the data that are input and output. The content that is presented to user as a consequence of using the software. The scope also includes the performance, the constraints, the interfaces, the reliability that will bound the system. There are two techniques in which we can define the scope. So scope is defined using two techniques. First, you can describe it in a narrative manner. That is, the narrative description of software scope is developed after communication with all the stakeholders. And you can also use the use cases which can be developed by the end users. The resources, whether it be human resource or people, the environmental resources, and the reusable software. So a project in broad terms is dependent, or resource wise, it addresses the people, the environment, and the reusable software. So people means the location of the people, the skills and the number of the people. Environment, what are the software tools, hardware, and the network resources. And then the reusable software, that means over the counter, off the shelf components, full experience components, part experience components, and the new component. So software project estimation, if you want to achieve reliable cost and effort estimates, there are a number of options for reliable cost and effort. First, we need to delay estimation until late in the project, obviously we can achieve 100% accurate estimate after the project is complete, but we need to delay estimation until late in the project. We base estimates on similar projects that have already been completed, and we use relatively simple decomposition techniques to generate the project cost and effort estimates. And we use no one sorry or more empirical models for software cost and effort estimation. In the estimation techniques, the most important is the past or similar project experience. There are certain conventional estimation techniques. You can break down the task and estimate the effort, or you can use the FP or function point or size estimates, kilo line of code like this. There are empirical models also, automated tools are also there. So the decomposition techniques, the software sizing in this decomposition technique, the accuracy of software project estimate is predicted on number of things. First, the degree to which a planner has properly estimated the size of the product to be built, the ability to translate the size estimate into human effort, calendar time, and of course the money, dollars. That is a function of the availability of reliable software metrics from past projects. The degree to which project plan reflects the abilities of the software team, and the stability of product requirements and the environment that supports the software engineering effort. So Putnam and Myers suggested 4 different approaches of the sizing problem: fuzzy logic sizing, function point sizing, standard component sizing, and change sizing. So fuzzy logic sizing means the approach uses this approximation reasoning technique that are the cornerstone of this fuzzy logic. To apply this approach, the planner must first identify the type of application, establish its magnitude on a qualitative scale, and then refine the magnitude within the original range. In the function point sizing, the planner develops estimates of the information domain characteristics. In the standard component sizing, the software is composed of a number of different standard components that are generic to particular application area. For instance, the standard components for an information system are subsystem, modules, screen, reports, interactive programs, batch programs, files, line of code, object level instructions. So the project planner estimates the number of occurrences of each standard components and then uses historical project data to estimate the delivered size for standard components. Then the change sizing. The approach is used when a project encompasses the use of existing software that must be modified in some way as part of a project, and the planner estimates the number of types, for example, the reuse, adding code, changing code, deleting code, of modification that must be accomplished. The problem-based estimation, in the problem-based estimation, the line of code and function points were described as measures for which the productivity metrics can be computed. So LOC and FP data are used in 2 ways during the software project estimation. The estimation variables to size each element of the software, and the baseline metrics collected from past projects and used in conjunction with the estimation variable to develop the cost and effort projections. So the 3-pointer expected value that can be computed. We have expected value for the estimation variables size that can be computed as a weighted average of the optimistic SOPT, most likely SM, and pessimistic SPES estimates. For example, this S expected value can be computed as SOPT plus 4 into SM, most likely is SM, 4 into SM, plus S pessimistic by 6. In the conventional method, the LOC and FP approach, we have already seen this. So we compute the LOC and FP using estimates of information domain values. We use historical data to build the estimates for the project. This is an example of line of code based estimation. For example, you have user interface face and control facilities UICF. The estimated line of code, say 2300, and various other like design analysis module, it will be 8400. So all these, say 2-dimensional geometric analysis 5300. So these are the estimated line of codes, and then we add them up and we say that the estimated line of codes would be this much. And then we can also use the FP based estimation, the estimation table for the LOC method like this. For example, this is the information domain value, like a number of, we already seen this number of external inputs EI, EO, and EII ILF and EIF, number of external inputs, number of external inputs, number of external inquiries, number of internal logical files, number of external interface files. So then we can use this likely pessimistic, and then we can count using that the formula we have just seen. We can give the weight also, and then we can just count these all. The factor, the backup, and the factor which we have EAF expected is adjustment factor actually. EAF. These are the adjustment factors. So the adjustment factor in this, we can use the data communication, distributed processing, performance criticality, existing operating environment, online data entry, input transaction per multiple screen, master file updated, online information domain values complex, internal processing complex, code design for use, conversion, installation, design, multiple installation, application design for change, and value adjustment factor can be like this. So you can give for value from 0 to 5, and these values can be added, and we can get the EAF adjustment factor, and these are the count total. And then you know that we have already seen in the matrix section that we did it for requirements actually, function point analysis, function point metric for specification or requirement analysis. But here you can use it for the estimation of effort and cost also. So FP estimated will be exactly like this: count total plus 0.65 plus 0.001 into sigma F, that is equal to around 375. So the empirical estimation models, the general form, if you can see here, that it is the tuning coefficient into size by the exponent. So here we have this KLOC here, KLOC. So this effort is usually derived as per person months of effort required. This can be, tuning coefficient can be either a constant or number delivered based on the complexity of the project. And then of course the size in terms of your line of code. So usually a line of code, but you can use the function points, and the exponent of course this is empirically derived. This is the general form. So let us elaborate this general form. The structure of estimation model would be like this. A typical estimation model is derived using regression analysis on data collected from the past software projects. So this is actually a regression analysis on data collected from past software projects. And the overall structure of such models will take form as we have just seen: A plus B into EV to the power of C, where A, B, C all are empirically derived constants, and this E of course is in effort in person month. This EV is the estimated or estimation value. You can use LOC and FP here. So in addition to the relationship we just noted here, the majority of estimation models have some form of project adjustment component that enables this E to be adjusted by other project characteristics like the problem complexity, the staff experience, the development environment. So among many LOC-oriented estimation model which is proposed in literature, for example, the Watson-Felix, Bailey, Boehm, and Doty model. This Doty model is greater than KLOC is greater than 9. It is 9,000 lines of code. If it is greater than that, so the E will be 5.2 plus or into KLOC to the power 0.91. These are all empirical value. The main idea is you have to understand that what is the form. The form is like this. Okay, this form. You can also use the function point oriented models that have been proposed, and this includes the Albrecht and Kemmerer and small project regression model. So this E you see here, it is minus 91.4 plus 0.355 FP, and likewise other models have also used this FP. Then we come to the COCOMO 2. This is actually a hierarchy of estimation model that addresses certain areas. COCOMO 2. This is a constructive cost model. So the application composition model, early design stage model, and post architectural stage model, and we will discuss about all these just now. This application composition model, these are used during the early stages of software engineering when prototyping of user interfaces, consideration of software and system interaction, assessment of performance, and evaluation of technology maturity are paramount. These are application composition model. In the early design stage model, this is used once the requirement has been stabilized and basic software architecture has been established. Then the post architecture stage model. This is used during the construction when the architecture or everything has been done. COCOMO 2. So like all estimation model for software, COCOMO 2 models require the sizing information, of course. So three different sizing options are available as part of model hierarchy: object points, function points, and line of source code. That is FP and KLOC and object points. These are the complexity weighting for object types. If you use the object types, so the object type can be, say, screen, report, or 3GL components. The complexity weight can be simple or medium, and then depending upon the difficulty, you just multiply with them and you can get the value, right? So similar to what we have done earlier. So the COCOMO 2 application composition models uses object points and illustrated in these discussion. So it should be noted that other more sophisticated estimated model like FP and KLOC are also available as part of COCOMO 2, not only object type points but other also. So let us discuss the like function points. The object point is also an indirect software measure that is computed using the count of the number of screens, report, components which are likely to be required to build the application, and each object instance like screen and report. This is classified into one of the three complexity level, as you can see: simple, medium, or difficult, and which is of course suggested by the great Boehm. The software equation of, say, the dynamic multivariable model is given by E is equal to LOC into b to the power 0.333 by p square into 1 by 2 to the power 4. This is the dynamic multivariable model. So typical values might be p, which is equal to 2000. If for development of real-time embedded software, p equal to 10,000 for telecommunication and system software, and p equal to 28,000 for business system application. So this E is the effort in person month or person years. T is the project duration in month or year. B is the special skill factor, and P is the productivity parameter. So we should note that the software equation has two independent parameters. First was the estimation of size, LOC. Second was the indication of project duration in calendar month. And to simplify the estimation process and use more common form for their estimation model, Putnam and Myers, they suggested a set of equations derived from the software equation. So minimum development time, they define it as T minimum is 8.14 into LOC by P to the power 0.43 in months for T minimum is greater than 6 months, and E is given by 180 and B T to the power 3 in person month if E is greater than 20%. So in this equation, this T is represented in years. So we can use this equation, the previous equation in P equal to 12,000, recommended for the scientific software, say so for quiet software. So T minimum will be 8.14 into, we are taking just the values, 33 200 by 12,000 to the power 0.43, that is 12.6 calendar month, and therefore it will be 58. Same formula we are going to use. Using the E, the time can be placed here, and that can be easily 58 person months. What about the estimation of web app projects? So web app projects, they often adopt the agile process model. So Rothstein suggested that following approach we have when adapted the function points for web app estimation. So if you are using function points, because we are saying that these are agile process models. So inputs, outputs, tables, interfaces, queries, all are there in your web app. So input are each input screen or form, each maintenance screen. If you use a tab, notebook metaphor, anywhere, each tab. Then outputs are each static web page, each dynamic web page script, each report. Tables are each logical tables in the database. Plus, if you have an XML to store data in file, each XML object. Interface retain their definition of logical files, for example, unique record formats, into our out of system boundaries. The queries, of course, are each externally published or use message oriented interface, and typical example of DCOM and COM external interfaces. So Mendes and her colleagues, they suggest that the volume of a web app is best determined by collecting measures called the predictor variables associated with the application, like page count, media count, function count. Its web page characteristics like page complexity, linking complexity, graphic complexity, media characteristics like media duration, and function characteristics like code length, reuse code length, etc. This is the make and buy decision. Like if you want to, because there can be way. You can either purchase a software or you can make it. So you have to see that whether purchasing is good or buying is good, or we need to make it. So we have a system. We want to see that we want to build, reuse, buy, or contract. Depending upon these value, the whether it is simple or difficult, we give the value and we try to find out the cost. So the computation of this expected cost is given by sigma path probability into estimated path cost. We are using this diagram. So for example, the expected cost to build will be like this. Expected cost to build. We want to build. It will be this 0.30 into simple plus 0.70 into difficult. Okay, these two. So these two we have taken and multiplied by 0.30 or 0.70. This is this much amount. Similarly, we can see the expected cost of reuse, buy and contract. And on the basis of this, we can find out what is the expected cost. So this was about the project estimation. We have covered various things, and I strongly encourage you to see the book present, because all the content is from that book only. Thank you so much.